Welcome to English Avenue YouTube, the channel to learn English the easy way. Let's start. In a secluded and remote village nestled deep within the heart of India, where the golden fields stretched endlessly under the watchful gaze of ancient temples, there lived a young woman named Anaya. Unlike most of the villagers, who found comfort in routine and tradition, Anaya was known for her unshakable courage and insatiable thirst for adventure. From a young age, she had possessed an unrelenting curiosity that set her apart from those around her. While others followed well-trodden paths, she longed to uncover secrets hidden beyond the familiar. However, despite her daring spirit, there was one tale whispered among the villagers that even she could not ignore: the legend of the Butney. It was said that this restless spirit roamed the outskirts of the village when night fell, casting an eerie presence upon the land. Those who claimed to have seen her spoke of a ghostly figure drifting through the shadows, her sorrowful wails piercing the silence of the night. Some believed she was the tormented soul of a woman who had suffered a great betrayal in life, doomed to wander the earth in search of justice. Others dismissed the legend as nothing more than a tale passed down through generations, a fabrication meant to instill fear in the hearts of the villagers and keep them from straying too far after dark. Despite the warnings and the hushed conversations spoken in fearful tones, Anaya found herself drawn to the mystery. What if there was truth buried beneath the layers of superstition? What if the Butney was not a figure of terror, but a soul with a story waiting to be told? The questions haunted her, filling her with a restless determination to uncover the truth behind the legend that had gripped her village for centuries. Anaya refused to accept second-hand accounts as fact. She had never been one to believe in myths without questioning them, and she was not about to start now. The more she heard about the Butney, the stronger her desire became to see for herself whether there was any truth to the tale. She was no stranger to danger. Adventure had always called to her, and she had never backed down from a challenge. And so, on a night when the full moon bathed the village in silver light, and the stars shimmered like scattered jewels in the sky, she made up her mind. Armed with nothing but a small oil lantern and an unbreakable resolve, she stepped beyond the boundaries of her village, her feet crunching softly against the dry earth, as she made her way toward the dense forest where the spirit was said to dwell. The night air was cool against her skin, carrying with it the hushed whispers of rustling leaves and the distant call of nocturnal creatures. Each step sent a surge of anticipation through her, her heartbeat drumming in her ears, not out of fear, but out of exhilaration. The unknown had always fascinated her, and now, as she ventured deeper into the darkness, she felt as though she were on the edge of discovering something extraordinary. As she moved further into the forest, the towering trees seemed to whisper ancient secrets, their branches swaying in a silent dance with the unseen wind. The faint glow of her lantern flickered against the trunks, casting long, eerie shadows that shifted and twisted as if watching her every move. Yet Anaya pressed on, her determination unwavering. She reminded herself that fear was merely a trick of the mind, a response to the unfamiliar, and she would not let it control her. Suddenly, a soft but distinct rustling sound reached her ears, breaking the rhythmic chorus of the night. She halted, her grip tightening around the handle of her lantern. The sound had come from behind her. Slowly she turned, raising the light, sending flickering beams into the dense darkness between the trees. Her breath caught in her throat as she saw it, a silhouette, cloaked in shadows, standing motionless just beyond the reach of the light. It was the Butney. Her form was indistinct, a wavering figure blending with the surrounding darkness, but her eyes, glowing with an otherworldly luminescence, spoke of an agony that transcended time. Anaya felt her pulse quicken, yet it was not fear that gripped her, but an overwhelming sense of sorrow. The spirit's gaze was not one of malice, nor of menace. It was laden with an unbearable grief, as if she carried the weight of centuries of suffering upon her spectral shoulders. The villagers had spoken of her as a vengeful phantom, a creature that lurked in the shadows, waiting to strike. But standing before her now, Anaya saw not a monster, but a soul trapped between two worlds, desperate for release. Summoning all her courage, she stepped forward, her voice steady but soft as she asked, "Why do you haunt these woods? What is it that you seek?" A chill ran through the air, the wind carrying a whisper, so faint it seemed to dissolve into the night itself. The Butney's lips parted, her voice emerging like a sigh, a mere echo of what it once had been. "I seek justice. I was betrayed, and now I am condemned to wander these woods for eternity." There was no rage in her tone, only despair. Anaya listened intently, the spirit's sorrowful words weaving an invisible thread between them. The truth of the Butney was not of horror, but of heartbreak, and for the first time, Anaya understood that the true ghosts of the past were not those who lingered in the dark, but the stories left untold, waiting for someone brave enough to uncover them. Anaya listened intently as the spirit recounted her story. In life, the Butney had been a woman named Leela, known for her kindness and grace. She had been betrayed by those she trusted most, abandoned to a fate she did not deserve. Her suffering had tethered her to this place, preventing her from crossing into the afterlife. As Leela's sorrowful tale unfolded, Anaya felt an overwhelming sense of determination. "You do not have to endure this pain alone," Anaya said, her voice firm with conviction. "I will help you uncover the truth and mend the wounds that keep you bound to this world." Together, they set out on a journey to piece together the fragments of Leela's past, seeking answers buried beneath time and silence. Anaya questioned the elders of the village, searched through ancient records, and spoke to those who still carried whispers of Leela's tragic fate. Slowly the truth emerged. The Butney was not a monster, but a soul wronged by history, her pain twisted into legend by fear and ignorance. Through Anaya's efforts, the villagers came to understand that Leela's story was one of sorrow, not terror, and with that understanding, the darkness that had haunted the forest began to lift. When the villagers learned the truth, their perception of the Butney changed. No longer did they see her as a spirit of vengeance, but as a soul deserving of peace and remembrance. Anaya, determined to ensure Leela's memory was honored, organized a sacred ceremony in her name, a tribute to the woman she once was. The villagers gathered, whispering prayers of reconciliation, their voices carrying through the night like a soothing balm for the spirit's restless soul. As the final words were spoken, Leela's ethereal form began to waver, a soft, content sigh escaping her lips as she gazed upon the world one last time. The weight of her sorrow lifted, and in a gentle breeze, she faded into the night, finally free. The forest, once a place of fear, became a sanctuary of peace, where the legend of the Butney lived on, not as a tale of terror, but as a story of justice, understanding, and the courage of a young woman who dared to seek the truth. Anaya continued her journey, knowing that sometimes the greatest adventures came not from distant lands, but from the courage to face the unknown. And though she would never forget the night she met the Butney, she would forever cherish the bond they shared, a friendship woven from bravery, compassion, and the power of an untold story finally given voice.